Josh, maybe if you could sprinkle a little extra on that one.
Yeah, I wonder too if I could get you the max bid sheet from Texas here.
Great. And once again, max bid sheet. This is all public information on the screen. Corey, let's hit that banner. And we'll bring up the screen here. If you guys are liking this, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new. In the chat, let us know what city and state you're tuning into or from, and we will tailor the chat as we go. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat. This is live indeed.
Yeah, so Coach Cameron was in Houston, Texas, and so I was helping these guys with the numbers and doing title searches and things like that. And so Texas is a bit of a wild beast. And one of the biggest issues in Texas, or one of the biggest challenges, is that the HOA actually has a huge amount of power. And so in Texas and in Florida, the HOA has the ability to foreclose on a property if someone doesn't pay their HOA fees, which is pretty nuts because a lot of times these houses, here's just an example of an opening bid. So $8,000 is the opening bid, a judge value of $682,000. And so because this would have initially been maybe, let's say $2,000 in HOA fees after interest, penalties, lawyer fees. The lawyer fees are what are really expensive because they're, the attorneys are around $300 an hour, $400 an hour. So that gets, it gets expensive. So it really starts over $2,000 in HOA fees, and they can actually foreclose on the homeowner. And so the HOA is something that you always have to be really careful of. In Texas, it's helpful to definitely go through the tax code and utilize AI and go through Texas law. But here's some interesting things that we found. Yeah, there was the HOA is going to foreclose on this property in like 2 months or something. And so we had to set aside an extra $4,000 in liens for the HOA. And so any mortgages, lien holders, pretty much everything else is going to get wiped. But, oh, look, you can see that someone just anonymous capybara just went in the, that's cool. They went into the spreadsheet. You can just see, when people are in it. Anyways, that's cool. But, and so everything is going to get wiped on that property except for the HOA lien. And the only reason they're not getting wiped is because they're not in the lawsuit. And so that's just a little, this has to go through court to foreclose on the homeowner. There's another one that we saw where there was a $1,000 lien. It was on Grove Street. And so we did have to pay $6 to purchase that lien because you can see that there's a lien, but you can't see what the amount is. And so it very easily could have been $10,000, $20,000. And it doesn't have to be scary. It's just that we subtract it from our max bid. And then I believe that everything else here, there was no liens. So there was a $2,000 lien on this one. Looks like HOA as well. But so that's really the stuff. And HOA is not a big deal in other parts of the country. And so that's where knowing the laws specifically to the state are helpful. But I mean, most of these, by the time they make it to a tax sale, there's not much mortgages. There's not really mortgages on the properties, which is crazy because you got some really high values that you can see here. 289,000, 250, 274, 281. So these are not my bad. That's the judge value. Here's the actual ARV. Yeah, like 290, 250, 290, 299, 350. So these are properties that have a whole bunch of equity in them. And so the majority of these don't have mortgages, right? Because a mortgage company is not going to let $10,000 wipe out their mortgage. But yeah, so the majority of these didn't have mortgages. All of that stuff does get wiped. And so it is pretty cool how you can get properties, for pennies on the dollar. But yeah, there's just some interesting things from Texas, from the auction that was today.
Nice. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I have a free gift for you for watching a free mini course called The ABCs of Tax Lien and Deed Investing. This is one of the best books on tax liens, and it is totally free as my gift to you for watching in the description below. It'll walk you through tax liens from start to finish, along with the directories with all 1,500 tax lien and deed counties put here so that you don't have to go and search around the internet to find them on your own. So the other thing I have is, if you already have this book and you want to do a deep dive, my team and I have found an auction with a whole bunch of properties worth 200 to 300 grand, opening bids of just 1,600 bucks. So if you want to deep dive and attend an auction with some help, you can also schedule a free call below and we can discuss helping you in this business. Regardless, thanks for watching. You can check things out in the description below and enjoy the videos. We'll see you soon.